The smell of motor oil clung to the air inside Ethan Cole's modest garage, tucked behind a quiet row of brick shops on the outskirts of Ashbury, a town where time moved a little slower and everyone knew your story before you could finish telling it. Ethan was the kind of man who didn't talk much but let his work speak for him. Someone who understood machines better than people and had more patience for broken engines than broken promises. So when little Madison Clark rolled into his garage one crisp autumn afternoon, her wheelchair squeaking gently and her mother walking beside her with a tired smile, Ethan didn't see a problem. He saw a project. Madison, barely 8, had been paralyzed from the waist down since birth. Her mother, Dana, a single parent juggling 2 jobs, had stopped by not for car repair, but to ask if Ethan had any old tires lying around that she could use for a school project. Madison was the one who caught his attention, though, wide-eyed, endlessly curious, asking what every bolt, every wrench, every lift lever did. She wasn't just watching. She was studying. It took Ethan 3 minutes of silence before he asked, "You ever wanted to drive something, Maddie?" Her face lit up like Christmas morning. "That's all she talks about," Dana said, chuckling gently. "She wants to drive like the kids in her class ride bikes." That was all the push Ethan needed. He told them to come back in a few days, said he had something in mind. But what started as a simple idea became an obsession. Ethan couldn't sleep. He couldn't focus on other repairs. He began sketching designs on napkins, on receipts, on the margins of invoices. He didn't just want to build a toy. He wanted to build freedom, a fully functional, electric-powered mini-car with hand controls and safety gear, made entirely for Madison's use. No more limitations. No more waiting on someone to push her. For the first time in her life, she'd control her own direction. He tore apart 3 scooters, salvaged parts from old lawnmowers, and welded a custom steel frame. The shell he built out of lightweight panels he sourced from a junkyard, smoothing every corner so it looked more like a luxury car than a science fair project. It had a polished blue finish, hand-painted white stripes, and a name stenciled across the hood, Maddie's Ride. Madison visited every day after school, asking questions, giving him feedback like a tiny engineer. And the day he finally let her try it, the day she buckled in, gripped the hand levers, and zipped across the parking lot, Ethan swore he'd never seen a smile like that in his life. Not in any showroom. Not on any highway. Dana cried. Madison laughed so hard she snorted. Ethan stood there, arms crossed, trying not to let the lump in his throat show. What none of them knew was that someone had taken a video. A neighbor. He'd watched quietly from his porch and posted the video online later that night with a simple caption. Ashbury mechanic gives a little girl the ride of her life. By morning, the town was buzzing. By nightfall, so was the internet. 3 days later, Ethan was wiping grease off his hands when a black limousine pulled into the gravel lot outside his garage. The kind of car that didn't belong in Ashbury. The kind of car that made everyone around sit up straight. Out stepped a tall man in a tailored navy suit, his polished shoes crunching on the gravel. He looked around the garage like he was surveying an artifact. "You're Ethan Cole?" he asked. Ethan nodded. "I'm Thomas Granger," the man said, offering a firm handshake. "CEO of Granger Innovations. We manufacture high-end vehicles, luxury, performance, design. I saw what you built for Madison, and I have to say, I've never seen anything like it." Ethan shrugged, trying to play it cool. "Just did what I could." "No," Thomas said. "You built hope. I want you on my team." The offer was quick and aggressive. Relocation, 6-figure salary, creative control over a new division focused on accessibility tech. Ethan didn't answer right away. Part of him was honored. The other part was confused. He hadn't done any of this for recognition. He'd done it for Maddie. But Thomas was persistent. "Come build with us, Ethan. Build for the world." Ethan agreed, with conditions. "I'll work for you," he said. "But not if it means selling my soul." Thomas laughed. "We want your vision, not your silence." The next few weeks were a blur. Legal paperwork, design meetings, press conferences. Ethan traded in his oil-stained overalls for sleek design software and corporate lanyards. His garage back in Ashbury stood quiet, its lights off for the first time in decades. Until one message changed everything. It came from Madison's mom. "Ethan, something's wrong. Please call me." He did. Immediately. Dana's voice trembled. A man from Granger came to the house. Said they wanted to buy Maddie's car. Said they'd offer enough money to pay off our mortgage. Ethan froze. They wouldn't take no for an answer, Dana continued. Madison locked herself in her room. She's scared. She thinks they'll take her car away. Ethan's chest tightened. They're not taking anything. He left the city that night. By dawn, he was on Dana's porch, holding coffee and fury in equal parts. I'm handling this, he said. Inside, Madison looked up with teary eyes. They said I don't need it anymore. That they could make a better one. Ethan knelt beside her. They can't make better memories, Maddie. That car is yours. And no one's taking it away. That day, Ethan stormed into Granger headquarters, heart pounding. Thomas Granger looked up from his mahogany desk with mild surprise. I heard you caused a bit of drama in Ashbury, he said coolly. You sent someone to buy a little girl's car. Ethan said, his voice low and steady. You crossed a line. Thomas shrugged. It's just business. No, Ethan said. It's theft. It's manipulation. And if this is what your company stands for, I want no part of it. You're overreacting. I'm leaving. Thomas leaned back. And do what? Go back to your garage. Ethan stared him down. Yes, back to the place where things are built with care, where people matter more than profit. He left that day without signing a single paper. And when the press found out, when news broke of what Granger Innovations tried to take, the tide turned. People rallied around Ethan, not just from Ashbury, but from across the country. Donations poured in. Engineers reached out. Designers offered to help. What had been a solo act of kindness became a movement. With those resources, Ethan launched something new, Cole Mobility, a small but growing company devoted to building custom vehicles for kids like Madison. Not mass-produced, not for profit, but tailored, thoughtful, and real. And Madison? She kept her car. And years later, when she learned to code, she helped design a new model, sleeker, faster, and able to be printed with 3D parts from recycled plastics. She named it the Dream Maker. And she wrote one sentence inside every dashboard, built not to impress, but to empower. And somewhere in the corner of a small town, behind the same dusty garage, Ethan Cole kept a handwritten note from Madison framed on the wall. Thank you for giving me wheels. But more than that, thank you for giving me wings.